Woo, live in the place to be. It's your boy Ren. This is the Set Apart Podcast, and that's your girl Dee Dee. Dee Dee, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
We live, we here, we got a new fresh episode for us. Dee Dee, what we getting into right now?
All right, so I have a question.
Okay.
This is a question that I was asked many years ago, but it stuck with me. You ready?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
All right. What is something you once believed to be true, but later found out wasn't?
Ooh, that's deep. That's way deeper than it should be in this world. Like what? Like that's way deep. What is something?
What is something you once believed to be true, but you later found out that it wasn't? This can go in many different directions, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Ooh, I'm gonna get a little depressing with this answer. I once believed, especially growing up, learning, having this innocent look towards life, that not only that people were trustworthy in general, but people with pivotal points in your life was trustworthy, and that's undisputed. For example, if you're related to me, I can trust anything you say, anything you do. You always have my best interest in mind. Like, come on, that's my uncle, that's my aunt. You would never do something wrong to me. Yeah, and then I grew up, and this is a really dark answer, but I grew up and I realized that, man, people just struggle with their stuff. Like, you know what I mean? They just struggle in general, and it doesn't make you exempt to that struggle. It doesn't make me exempt to your struggle because I'm related to you. Or I grew up in a time of I can remember being young, watching family-centered shows, your Family Matters. They always got a good little story at the end. Your Full Houses was on. There was shows called Step by Step. I don't know if you remember Seventh Heaven. All of these home feel-good family things where they would go through their situations at throughout the episode, but at the end, family was all that mattered. Like, come on, I never meant to do this. So I would say one thing that I thought to be true was that family could never hurt you. They were always trustworthy. And even if it seemed like they meant ill will by their action, 9 times out of 10, it was just
they didn't really mean it.
Yeah, they didn't really mean it. Growing up, and then you see how other people's families operate. You see how your own operates, and you're like, hold up. Maybe I shouldn't have this nice perception towards everybody who is in the same, of relation to me. So yeah, that is something that I once thought was tried and true. Whereas I'm in my adulthood and I'm like, man, what a kid. What a kid. What about yourself?
Yeah. Well, mine is a little different.
Okay.
Although I can identify what you're saying. When you grow up, you realize, man, people just be people.
People just be people.
A lot.
Man, people just be people.
Yeah, like people be people. People be having lives.
Yeah.
But mine is I actually wrote. This was actually my college entrance essay back when they made you write an essay to get in, because I started college at a very academically rigorous institution.
Okay.
Up in Indiana, and that I don't even think they do essays anymore. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody complain about them in a very long time.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, well, there was a time back when I graduated from high school where it was like, okay. Anyway, I digress. But the question was this very question, and it stuck with me all these years. And I wrote this essay probably 20 years ago. So I graduated from high school a long time ago and started that process. But anyway, I remember this question. And so they were like, the prompt was, what is something you believe to be true, but found out later it wasn't? And this was my answer. When I was a kid, I was a church kid, as you all probably know by now.
Okay.
I thought, so you know how they tell you God is always watching you, right? But I thought if I had enough layers between me and heaven, maybe he couldn't see as good. So I
This is scaring me. This is getting scary. I don't even know what's coming next, and it's getting scary.
I would cuss people out in my closet at home, or I would cuss them out on paper and put it in my pocket, because there's enough folds in this paper and through my Jordache jeans that God ain't gonna see me cuss this woman out.
That's funny. That's
I
funny.
believe that to be true for, I would say, about between 6 to 9 years old.
Okay. I was about to say, if it got into your teenage years, that's we don't have to talk about that one right there.
Nah, so but that essay was very entertaining for those people. As you obviously, because they thought people were gonna write about like Santa Claus or
Right.
like that I could be anything I want to be for real, that kind of thing. Nah. If I had enough barriers between heaven and my bedroom, God's vision of what I'm doing will get a little blurry, so he might not, hear everything I'm saying or see everything I'm writing. But
That's
yeah, I used to cuss people out in my bedroom closet a lot. And I'm not
that's
gonna say who those people were that I cussed out, but I did.
that's that's one for the books. Because I mean, I would like to say I would have believed in the whole Santa Claus thing, but I didn't. Somebody at a very young age told me. I can't tell. I don't know who it was. Like, I literally can't remember who it was, but I remember the words. I remember Santa Claus subject came up, and I was young. I was like 6, maybe 5, 6. And it was like, "Hey, Santa Claus ain't coming over here. He ain't coming to this."
He
He said,
might be real, but not over here.
he said, "No, he ain't coming over here, man. It
It
ain't
ain't
safe
safe.
for all the little elves." I was like, "Bro, okay, so, like, Santa Claus ain't coming over here."
I don't remember believing in Santa Claus. For
No.
me, I think, and I had this conversation with my son because he was like, "Is Santa Claus real?" I said, "He's a real character. So he's real enough that you're going to see him around. But what they say he's doing, that part, no." I
Right.
don't remember being disappointed that he didn't exist. So I don't remember when that happened
Yeah.
for me. I don't remember ever being like, "Are you serious? He's not real?" I just was like, I heard y'all wrapping presents. You
Right.
asked me what I wanted. We went in the bedroom closet and saw the top shelf.
Yeah.
Like,
We seen it.
but we
Yeah.
still was excited. Like,
Yeah. For sure.
I heard the tape and stuff in the middle of the night. Hurry up and go to bed so Santa can come.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
still fun to play around, but I wasn't like hurt. It was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, of course.
I think it's in these days and age, and once again, I'm not a parent, but I imagine it being so hard to keep that facade alive if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, if you really wanted to keep this facade alive, imagine how many things you would have to go through, like,
Yeah.
just to keep it consistent. That's too much.
Yeah. I just say, oh yeah, he's a real character.
Yeah, he exists,
Yeah, he's
but
in all the movies, but yeah, it's cool. I just
it's
say,
still
yeah, he's a real character in all of these Christmas stories, and I didn't have to go back and forth about it really. It
right.
was, he was like, oh, okay. Easter Bunny, that's never been a thing in our family, so I had to worry about all that kind of crazy stuff. The
I
Tooth
still,
Fairy though, homeboy be expecting cash. Like, he's
I,
like, wait, you didn't
pay
come in
up,
last night. I'm like, what?
pay up,
You
pay
lost all your teeth, bro. You didn't come in last night though.
Hey, that's funny. And I think, I mean, we still, even as adults, struggle with certain things because, like, there's certain people who play, like, there's certain actors that play certain villain roles way too well to where I see them just like on a random interview. I'm like, you ain't no good. You ain't no good.
Still
Ain't,
mad.
ain't nothing about you good. Like the dude that play Charles on what's his name, Charles?
I know you're
On
talking about.
Diary of a Mad
Yeah,
Black Woman? Bro.
he killed it.
He was
We
too
still be
good.
laughing at.
He was too good.
I still get joy when she threw him in the bathtub.
Yeah,
He was
he was
blowing them
too
bubbles.
good. I'll see him on a whole different show or something like that. He's not even the bad guy in this show, and I'll be like, "That's what you get."
Like I can't stand him.
I can't stand him.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I just can't. I don't know, man. I just can't see it being good. Or like you'll watch a totally new show, not related at all, and I just watched Abbott Elementary. Big Abbott Elementary fan.
Hmm.
The new season came out not too long ago, so I watched the first episode of the new season, and one of the Hispanic guys that is a part of the board or whatever. I remember him being a bad guy in one of the shows that I've seen before, and the whole time watching Abbott Elementary, I'm like, oh, he gonna
Can't
stab him.
trust him.
Don't go, don't take the job the whole time. Now I don't know how it plays out, but in my mind, it's made up that he's the villain.
That's like I didn't know the real Selena for a long time.
Yeah.
Or even better. So I don't know why my parents, but they did. We watched a lot of, well, rated R, I think, was probably different back then. But if it
Yeah.
was historically based, we could watch it, even though it has some stuff in there we should have been watching. But we watched the Malcolm X movie, Spike Lee,
Yeah.
at a very young age, to the point where I thought that was Malcolm X for a long time. That
Bro,
is Malcolm X still.
I thought Malcolm X had superpowers. Now hold on to me. Hold on to this real quick. I thought he had superpowers because I was so young when I watched the movie that I didn't understand that when apparently when his head got bashed open or something like that, it rewinded it. Like it was like a rewind as if it didn't happen. I thought Malcolm X used his powers to
Wow.
rewind.
You
And
watched
I
way too
was
many
like,
Power
bro,
Rangers.
I know, man. And I was an X-Man, Malcolm X, X-Man. It was
Denzel Washington is Malcolm X.
Denzel Washington is Malcolm X.
Hmm.
Right.
Took me a minute because I would go back. I'm like, but same thing with Selena.
Who
I
played?
thought that was really her, Jennifer Lopez.
Okay. What is Selena doing singing Jenny from the Block?
That was really. Some people just do so good. It's like I can't separate it
Exactly.
in my
Exactly.
young mind. But
You're a victim
yeah,
of your
so absolutely. So that was my that was my breaking of the ice. Clearly, imaginations can take you places.
facts. Facts.
Your young imagination can be very vivid. But hey, it got me into the school I wanted to get into.
Hey, thank God. But God, am I right? We gonna get into the thick of it. So we gonna address a topic that we addressed a little bit in season one, but we're a little bit more further down the road when it comes to this. But we're gonna talk about specific things. Specific things. Now, I have conversations, Dee, often. In my world, maybe way too often, but I'm gonna still wait and say that. But I have conversations often with just other believers, and they're in this dating realm and
Not the realm.
the realm of dating. And so, not only the dating realm, I call it the infancy stage. So, the infancy
Okay.
stage would be either you're single and not dating, so only thing
Okay.
you're doing is speculation, to up to you've been dating someone for 6 months.
Dang, 6 months is infant.
That's an infant. It's an infant. Now,
Okay.
hold
I'm
up.
sorry. Go
Hold up.
ahead. Go ahead. Go
Now,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks, and you can definitely be way further along. Your 6 months can look different from my 6 months.
It
Somebody
does.
6 months can look different from somebody's 6 months. But I'm saying the possibility of the infancy stage is up
Okay.
to that 6 month
0 to 6 months. Got it.
0 to 6 months. And so in the infancy stage, it's crazy. And I'm talking about believers, people who are Christians. I am for sure, with everything that I can grade with, that they are walking that walk. Um, they struggle when feelings hit. They struggle with what guarding their heart looks like. Okay.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna have some scenarios. I got a couple scenarios, and I'm gonna ask you, is that guarding your heart? Can you see a situation where it goes well and where it can go sour? But we're gonna just take it point by point of
Okay.
things. And here's the thing: this is not what if scenarios, Dee. These are all things that people are telling me. Like they're saying these words. So this is not a make believe this could never happen. I'm telling you, if I was a rat right now, I would say all their names next to this is happening right now in their life. So we just gonna take it slow. The infancy stage, guarding your heart. The first one is now. This is not what we talked about before in the past in terms of social media, but the first one is sharing passwords. Now, sharing passwords is not only your phone. So we talked in the past about phone, but I'm talking about even things as simple as Netflix, Paramount, streaming stuff, all this other stuff, and all this other stuff. Do you think that that has any type of relation as to your intimacy with that person?
What? I need the context. So is someone asking you for the password? Are you saying, "Oh, you don't have Netflix? You at their house or something?
Whether
Oh,
you
you can log into
whether you
mine."
offer it or they ask. So it's like, hey,
Who
uh,
cares?
oh, you don't got Paramount? Oh, let me give you a Paramount, my Paramount, login and stuff like that. Do you think now? I'm telling you, in real life, this was a question.
In real life, who cares? It's
Okay,
freaking paramount.
you're right.
You share it with people you used to room with in college. Who cares?
This is true.
That's not
But
intimacy.
the reason why I was asked, and this is on the person's behalf, I guess, if you will. The reason why it was asked is because they seen that as a level of attachment. Like, oh dang, man, like we use it
Really?
stuff.
Really? Are you using each other's stuff or did you share a password to a streaming service? I think you need to calm down. And I don't mean this disrespectfully. If y'all don't know by now, I'm kind of direct because I really want to get sometimes I think we have these questions about relationships and we think too much about the stuff that don't matter in life and
Oh, overthink.
we think too little of the things that matter. In
Mhm.
your selection of a spouse, where does sharing the password of said streaming service rank?
Below
What
the.
does that have to do with character? When you're selecting a spouse, you're saying, okay, we're sharing stuff. Are you?
That's true.
What
That's
are
true.
you? What are they getting from you by you sharing that? That is not intimacy. And I'm so sorry. Again, this is not disrespect to whoever is going through this right now, but I need you to stop journaling about it and get up and move forward. This is a streaming service.
I would agree with that sentiment. I don't think it's anything these days to. I mean, if it don't work out, change the password. Who cares?
Right. You
Um,
could change it after you give it to them.
exactly. This is a one-time use, sucker.
Right. Like they might give it to their cousin and stuff. It's okay. Like,
Yeah,
really?
that's real.
You
Okay,
offered it.
Here go number two. It get bigger and better. All right.
All right.
In the infancy stage, doing devos with that other. Is that a proper guarding? Not guarding? Should it happen?
This is so Christian.
It's so Christian. It's so Christian.
What in the world?
It's so Christian. Is that guarding? Now. Matter of fact, let me give you a little bit more because this came from a woman. Okay, this
Of
one
course
came
it did.
from a woman. And
Oh my
her
goodness.
concern is slash was, I'm not gonna tell y'all which one. Um, her concern was that she is looking for somebody to lead her spiritually. And how will she know unless this happens?
Okay. The reason I laughed so hard because I said this is so Christian is that right there. Women, get out of summer camp mindset when you're looking for a husband or looking to see if a certain person has the potential to be that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Him leading you has nothing to do with you doing a Bible study together. That's fake. You know why? Because you're saying that because you think that that's how to measure a man's godly leadership in your life. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, if I'm I'm sorry. I used to think like this. This is why I can laugh. I used to think like this. And let me just say this.
Thinking like this still. People
I
thinking
know. And so I'm not laughing at you, ma'am. I'm laughing at the old me because I see me and you. In real life, a man that's leading you spiritually is not going to look like youth pastor. Okay? He's not going to look like camp counselor. Him being able to read the Bible has nothing.
Hey.
Him being able to read the Bible and answer some questions with you and discuss it and say a prayer means absolutely nothing when it comes to him leading you spiritually. Because you can read and pray with yourself. You can do that with your girl roommate. Why? That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So guarding your heart, really the question is, why am I trying to make him show me this by planting a Bible study?
Yeah. That's
why. That's not your measure of leadership, ma'am. Because in real life, when you actually married, that ain't what y'all gonna be doing.
Facts. And so this happens. So once again, this came from a female friend of mine. And then in turn, you do have guys that somewhat bring this conversation up, but not in this sense. It's more so of now don't get me wrong, let me brag about these guys for a little bit. These guys are some solid dudes. They have a legitimate and they care about their walk so much that their fear is that and I've had this fear and I still think it's a valid fear coming from a guy's point of view, is that sometimes Christian girls will be captivated at the pursuit that you have towards your savior, towards your father, and all this other stuff.
That's my point.
But yet and still not know dang near nothing about you. Like
that's my point.
Nothing. They don't know nothing about you. They just enamored that. Oh, he reads the Bible.
That's what I'm saying. You planting a devotional that tells you nothing about this person. That is not a definition of leadership. I wish. Okay, we have to stop mysticizing. Yeah, we got to stop acting like relationships are this mystical, magical thing that two people float together and become one because they both go to church. That is not real life. Yeah. You are a person, and so is he.
Yeah.
If he is a leader and he's supposed to be yours, first of all, you're not going to want to do everything your leader tells you. Secondly, you will know, and it's not going to be you creating these scenarios to find out, can he lead me spiritually? Reading a Bible, doing a Bible study is not spiritual leadership. Spiritual leadership is, can he tell you no when he want to say yes? If you know what I'm talking about.
Say that. Say that.
And you over there crying about, well, maybe he's not attracted to me. No, ma'am. God over you.
Yeah.
Can you handle that?
Yeah. Maybe he
not. I bought this book off Amazon. I sent it to him. I hope he gets the hint. Girl, sit down.
Right.
Your spiritual leader is gonna say, look, it's getting dark outside. If we gonna keep it real, let's keep it real. You got to go home.
Right. That's facts. That's factual. Okay, and just for we gonna
that's guarding your heart.
We gonna bump to the next one, because this next one I feel like gonna get a rise out of you too, because this came from a guy. And just to let you know, I'll tell you what I tell you what my reaction was before I even tell you what the question was. Like he asked it, and I was like, one of those looks like, are you stupid? Anyway, the question was, hey, I want to do a good job in dating this girl. It's about to hit that 6-month mark, right? And out of the sheer, he didn't say those words, but this is what he described. Out of the sheer convenience, do you think we could move in together and still be guarding our hearts?
The sheer convenience. What does that even mean?
Sheer convenience means
because you trying to save money.
Not only, I mean, all of it. Trying to save money. Maybe somebody's lease is up. Maybe it's easier to do this together. Things been going well for about 5-something months. And, in a perfect world, they're getting engaged around 9. Why would you sign a whole nother year lease? Because you're going to be insert whatever reason right here.
So what's the question?
Moving in together? Question mark.
No.
Yeah. I think it's the most idiotic thing from a guy's point of view. I just wanted
if you have to ask the question, if this is your question, if we move in together, do you think we could guard ourselves? You're asking, which means no. You can't guard yourself when y'all out past 9 p.m.
You can't guard yourself at the movie theater. What if y'all?
Okay. Look.
Yeah.
We have to stop pretending like just because we Christian, we don't have feelings. We don't have urges. We are we grown or not?
Yeah.
Why are we still acting like we at summer camp? I need y'all to stop dating like y'all at summer camp, please. First of all, this whole 6-month stuff, this whole 9 months by this time, men, stop doing that. Ask the Lord. Be real. Lord, I'm feeling her. I can picture a future. Can you pace me? Help me keep the pace that you want me to have. Help me to keep asking you, what should I do? Because I like her. I don't want to mess it up, but I'm sexually attracted to her. Guess what? God wants you to be sexually attracted to her.
Yeah.
You want him to turn it off?
Yeah.
What is can we stop playing pretend and be for real?
That's very real. And it brings up the matter of fact, I'm just gonna fast forward to that one because you literally just hit the head on one of the other ones.
So sick of this fake
the
stuff.
Other one was having predetermined dates before the situation.
Stop doing that.
So I hear so many people, and I hear it in men, I hear it in women. Oh man, well, I want to date somebody for X amount of time, and like at a year we need to be engaged or such like this. I'm going to tell you this to all of you viewers. I don't know if I said this, but let me be totally transparent. I have approached situations or relationships where I was like, hey, By this month, I want to be engaged. By this month, I want to do this. By this month, I want to be this and all this other stuff. When I tell you, I fully walked into that relationship with this plan, and God literally shook it up in all the good ways. Now, I know people be like, "Oh, it's such a terrible thing, and you're holding yourself to a standard and all these negative." When I'm telling you, through that entire, let's say I wanted to be engaged at 8 months, right? Through that entire 8 months, God revealed to me how stupid I was, but grew me out of my stupidity. Like when I got to 6 months, and it was like, and that's why I say infancy stage in terms of 6 months, because when I got to 6 months, it was like, it's so much more, so many more layers to this woman. I want to know her way more. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because, like, I got the same butterflies that I had on day one, and it's 6 months in this mug. Like, those things that you think that you're going to be feeling at a certain time, those things that you think that you should be feeling at a certain time, delete those. And the only reason why I say delete those is because you rob yourself of so much joy. You rob yourself of going through the journey of getting to know someone. And also, you put unneeded, unwanted. Listen, the world is hard already. It's hard already. Why are you adding unneeded pressure to your relationship? Don't tell me you're a pro, because if you was a pro, you'll be it. What, this wouldn't even be happening. This conversation wouldn't even be happening. I guarantee you done tried before. Like, no, if you was a pro, this conversation wouldn't be happening. So the fact that timelines exist, what I'm telling you is, I'm not gonna say it's just pure stupidity. What I'm telling you is immaturity. I think it's immaturity. What do you think about that, Didi?
I think you know what I think about that. First of all, like, we gotta stop comparing our journeys to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because these timelines, that's why I said in the beginning, 6 months is infant, because okay, when you're grown, and this is what I mean by grown, you're not in school, you're not in the military, um, you have your own stuff, you have no reason to put a timeline on something that, like, it's not like you're sick, or something's going on that you have to get through and you can't focus on another person, whatever that might be. You still getting your stuff together, whether it be school or you an extended medical student, or whatever that might be. But when you don't have any reason to put time parameters around it other than logistics, in
Mm-hmm.
my mind, you're grown. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have somebody else telling me you should wait till you finish this first. You should do this first. Now, if it's something where it's like logistically, okay, there's a move that needs to happen, or there's a um something needs to be moved out of the way, like there's a big purchase or whatever the case might be. If you're grown, the timetable is up to you. And like you said, if if God has a plan for you to be at a specific place at a certain time, you don't know what you need to help you get there.
Right.
Most of us need a partner, because the task at hand, the assignment on our life, is too much for us to do alone. So we can't move forward until we get that partner that's supposed to help us, and vice versa.
Right.
You are so prideful to think that you can tell God when he can bless you and when he shouldn't, when it works for you and when it doesn't, when it's convenient for you and when it's not. You wouldn't dare say that with those words, but that's what you're telling him when you're like, nah, like you said, butterflies. I call it, like, if you feel it, you feel it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not a sin to feel it. You know what I mean when I say if you feel it. You like, dang, but it's only been 3 weeks. I should not be feeling this strongly. Why not? Who said?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go check with so and so. They may not understand what you're talking about,
Right.
because it didn't happen for them that way. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. But if you're an adult, you're not some 17-year-old crazy, just wild imagination. No, you're grown. You know you have responsibilities. You're not throwing it all to the wind because you're chasing a man or a woman. Who are you to tell God, I know I prayed for this, but not yet? Are you crazy?
Right.
Because you know what the God I serve would do? All right. Who else, who's ready then?
Mm-hmm.
Because she ready. So if you not, I'm gonna need you to keep going on, do what you got to do. Hopefully it'll come back around, but it probably won't because she's actually ready.
Right.
And so the way I see that God does it, two ready people going toward him. He didn't say, 3 more weeks. He might have grace on you, but he maybe not. So I don't do timetable anymore. I was one of those like, well, at least got to be like to make it make sense. But what I was really saying is it has to make sense when I explain it to other people. Shame
Mm.
on me for having that mindset. Because now y'all already know how I go. I don't listen. I don't do that whole like, well, let me settle in. Nah, if we going, we going.
Right.
Did the Lord say yes or no to you? Now he didn't say what's gonna happen after that, yes, or he didn't say like, okay, well, you're gonna go through this, you're gonna go through that. But if I know it's you, I gotta trust that yes, I gotta go with that. I don't need to know all the details. But Lord, what is that? And what is that? Listen, are you ready or not?
Yeah.
But
You
if
ready?
you're not thinking like that,
Yeah.
if you're not thinking life partner, then this conversation ain't gonna make sense to you. But if you just like to go on dates because you like to go out, then we're not talking the same language.
Right. Okay. I got a twofer for you. Okay. Here's a question right now. I'm gonna give you two scenarios. Once again, these are not hypotheticals. These are real things that are happening right now. So I'm gonna ask you at the end of both of these. I'm gonna say, what advice do you have for the girl?
Oh my gosh.
Guarding her heart, and what would you say to that guy? Is he guarding his heart? Now here's the girl situation. The girl situation been dating this guy for about 3 months. Um, and so since she is so confident that this is going to plateau into marriage, these words have not been spoken. She is so confident that this is going to plateau and this is going to marriage. We gonna get married. She's so confident that she's gonna get married that she goes dress shopping. And she goes dress shopping and she's trying to figure out what her wedding dress is, and she's sitting up here with her friends and they got this going on. Granted, she not even engaged yet, but she out here going dress shopping. So that's the girl. Now here's the guy. I'm gonna give you the guy too. So remember this. Here's the guy. The guy is it's a little bit more easy to explain this because I just think it is a little bit of nonsense. He is not yet dating even the prospect that he thinks he's going to date, right? So today he's not dating that prospect. He has had a ring for 4 months. What are you saying to the girl? What are you saying to the guy?
I think there's levels to this, but my answer may shock a lot of people.
Okay.
It depends on that young woman's relationship with God, honestly, because, and this might sound crazy. Well, I know it's going to sound crazy, but it depends. If she's just someone who's just super obsessed with weddings and one of those people I've been dreaming of this day my whole life, then I think she should calm down. But on the other hand, if I don't think it's that crazy, because if this is someone who's been through some things, this is someone who has been close to that and been hurt. This is someone who really never really had self-esteem, and she has finally started to see herself as worthy of maybe getting married someday, this is probably a faith move for her. And it means more than just going dress shopping, because
Okay.
it wasn't about the wedding. It was about, I actually finally believe this could be me after years of never thinking this could ever happen for me, because of what I heard growing up, what I've been through, what other men in the past have told me about myself. I would never have this. I would never be nothing. I'm doing this. And maybe she don't even buy the dress, but maybe she's, I want to go see what cut looks good on my body. So when
Hmm.
that happens, I'm ready. There's no doubt in my mind, in my
So,
life.
so if she then purchases the dress, did that change things?
I don't think that changes things. I think it's just it's levels to it,
Okay.
because there are a lot of women that do. Y'all just don't know they already got a dress because of
Mm,
what y'all think. Y'all gonna think she crazy. She trying to trap me, when it really had nothing to do with you, because you weren't there when she got it.
okay.
Sometimes it's just a matter of, as low and as horrible as I used to feel about myself during my healing process, God told me to trust him enough to do something as crazy as go get a dress without the man. Everybody else in my life might think I'm crazy, and I might not even tell them until after the wedding. That's how much I believe in what God told me.
Hmm. Okay.
Because a man gonna think I'm crazy. All my girlfriends are gonna think I'm crazy. If I post it, they gonna think I'm crazy. Oh, she tripping. Of course you gonna think that, because God ain't told you that.
Right.
But for me to believe it's possible, that's what he told me to do. And you might not ever know this till your 10th anniversary. And
Right.
she tell you her testimony. So I
And
don't
so
think it's that crazy.
so here's the next level to that. So let's say she does purchase it, right?
Hmm.
Let's say it doesn't end up working out. Is not I'm not gonna say she crazy, but from having that symbol just sitting in your closet waiting for that day, does that not add a little bit more disappointment? That
No.
okay.
Did God say it or did she say it?
That it was over?
No. To go trust me
Oh, to
enough to
go
get
do
the
it.
dress
Oh,
before you can calculate what's happening. Is that
okay.
not what faith is?
Yeah.
So if God said it, she not disappointed because he said it, he ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
But if it's her just making up stuff, there's a big possibility it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So it
Okay.
really depends on, it depends on the woman and what she got going on.
Okay.
It
So
wouldn't
let's
make me flinch.
it wouldn't make you flinch?
No. Because I've seen God say crazier than that.
Okay. So let's pivot over to the
That's
guy
why
then.
we don't tell y'all everything.
Oh, I'm glad. And here's the thing. I am a need to know guy. Like I don't need things that is unneeded
No.
things to occupy this dome right here.
Yeah, most of y'all, yeah, because it wouldn't, that's her relationship with God, not you and her and God.
Facts. Facts. And I'm okay with that. All right. But here we go with the guy. Here we go with the guys. Now, I'm just gonna tell you, I'll remind you of this, but I thought it was crazy just because I've never heard something like it before. Not even dating a girl yet. He has had before he knew the girl's name,
Hmm.
he had a wedding ring for 4 months just burning a hole in his on his dresser or whatever. Is that crazy? Is that guarding the heart? What is that?
I don't think it's crazy at all.
Okay. Maybe I
I
just think
don't.
about my situation because it's like to me, and I could be projecting my own desires and wants on somebody else for sure. Like to me, when I think of a wedding ring, it is customized to the person. It is not necessarily like made like custom to the person, but
Hmm.
like there's so many different styles and
Hmm.
so many different ways to do this.
Hmm.
But that like so to me when I just think of that, when I look at that ring, I think of that specific type of style for that specific type of person.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't know who the person is and
Hmm.
you got this mug, I'm like, what? I'm
I
baffled.
get what you're saying. I get it. And I don't think it's either or. I think it's both and. I don't think that there's anything wrong with a young man who actually desires to be married, who wanted to have something while he had the money to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ring and for when she comes. Why would
Mm.
somebody that's like a single man buying a house talk about I'm getting my house ready for my future wife? For what? She don't even like them
For what?
colors.
Who? Yeah.
But I love that. Hey, if that's where your faith is, do what you got to do that works between you and God. That's how I feel about life. If it ain't, I don't think it's wrong that it ain't. If you need to wait to meet the person, to know their personality, to figure out what they like, there's nothing wrong with that either. But I don't think it's crazy.
And so I would say the same question. Of course, you're not being a man, but I would say the same question. If then that person then comes along and you think it's promising, but it doesn't go that route, does that
It
hurt you a
just
little
ain't
bit
that
more?
person.
Yeah, I mean, but does that hurt you a little bit more? You had this ring for a minute now.
No,
Okay.
I don't know. I never bought a ring for a woman.
So
So
you'll just be so every single time she'll be like, this ain't your ring, then. This ain't your ring, then. This ain't your ring.
but the man ain't gonna pull it out when it ain't even promising.
Right, for sure.
But if the relationship doesn't work out in his mind, because he had the faith to buy a ring before he met her, and he met someone and it doesn't work out, his faith don't go out the window. His faith is like, well, that just wasn't her.
That just
That
wasn't
must
her.
not have been her. Like I said, there are plenty of single people who buy homes that are big enough for a family of 5
Mm-hmm.
because they are planning. They want to have something prepared and provided for whoever that might be.
Right.
And they might get married and have children and might move a year after they did all that building and planning. You think
Oh,
their faith is they're gonna be disappointed? No.
listen, like that's me. I'm one of them. We 2 people living in a 4-bedroom house. You be out like you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get
What's the
it. I get it.
difference? What's the
Yeah,
difference?
I get it. I get it. I get it. I feel you. That's good. That okay. I like
It's
that
just
little
less socially acceptable because everybody don't do it. But it's the same thought process.
right.
We just
That
look
means
at houses like, oh, you got a house.
you got a
It's
house.
like, how about how about looking at them? Wow, you really serious about being a husband?
Yeah.
That you are mentally prepared, and you can always go upgrade, do whatever you got to do. But I don't find that crazy at all.
Okay. Well, listen. Maybe y'all in the infancy stage. Maybe y'all in the dating stage. Maybe y'all don't even got no prospects out here in this joint. But there's some things to just chew on and think about and stuff like that. I would encourage you. I would implore you to join the conversation. What is it
Please
like?
do.
What is it like to guard your heart in every way, form, or fashion? I mean, in that infancy stage beforehand, the people who you give yourself away to, like, what does it look like for you? What are you doing right now in this season to guard your heart? And where's some mistakes? If you will be so bold to tell us, what was
They
some
scared.
mistakes? Yeah, they scared for sure.
They're
What
scared.
is, what is some mistakes that you had in guarding your heart in your early stages? It can be years ago, but I'm confident that people can learn from your testimony. So join the conversation. Join us at the email. Join us on our social media platforms. Join us below this YouTube video. If you're at Spotify right now, people listen to us at Spotify. Comment there. People listen to us solely on Apple podcasts. You can join the conversation there. But I just implore you guys to join the conversation. Didi, you got some words for
Absolutely.
the people?
Um, I think I said enough today.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some people that's gonna disagree, but that's not new to me. But I have to come on here and be honest. Um, I will say this. I'll reiterate something I already said. How about that?
Okay. Go ahead.
Ladies, just because you are looking for someone to lead me spiritually, you cannot set it up, if you will. It's not going to be, if a leader is going to lead, they don't lead how the followers want to be led. Okay. So if he's really a leader, it's not about how many scriptures he knows. It's not about how well he sings on Sunday morning or how he can put the words together and do all that. It don't even matter about his Instagram page. If he's going to lead you, he's going to tell you some things that you don't want to hear.
Mm.
And if you say you want a leader, that means you have to be a submissive follower. And I know you don't like to hear that, but I'm just keeping it real with you. So
Say
can he
that.
lead when it's getting hot and heavy and he tell you, nah, sis, you got to get up and go. It ain't about no little cute Devo. Okay? That is not. Can you guard your heart then? That's all I'll say. Hey, this is your girl Dee Dee from Set Apart with Ren and Dee Dee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this latest installment. Don't forget to subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts.